So we come to the next part. Like once fear is removed because of knowledge, you give people knowledge and you remove the fear, you also need to instill empathy to the person. And empathy is a big word because we don't feel pain of things we do not think about.
Or don't connect with.
We don't connect with, exactly. Like a person will kick a dog and 10 people will say, how dare the dog is feeling the pain. A person will kill a rat or a snake and nobody feels a thing. Yes, because you don't empathize with them. Empathy is really, really important.
So, very important question. If someone is bitten by a snake, what should they do?
Important question and very interesting question, because what should they do? I would like to say nothing besides going to a hospital and getting anti-snake venom. What they should not do is a very important thing, because people do always the wrong things. So telling you what they should do if they're bitten by a snake. If you're bitten by a snake, you probably are bitten on your hands or your legs, because while walking you stamp a snake and it bites you, or you're lifting a log of wood and the snake is there, the snake gets scared of your hand and bites your hand. So you're bitten on your hand or your leg. Very rarely people are bitten on their face and on the chest and stuff like that, but that's mostly because they're trying to kiss the snake, which you should not do anyways. Right?
So you're trying to kiss a snake.
Snake handlers and snake rescuers. So because most of the snake bites happen with snake rescuers, right? You need to respect them. A snake doesn't enjoy being kissed by a human being, for sure. So coming back to first aid. So if you're bitten by a snake, remain calm. Do not bite the snake back for whatever reason. And try to immobilize the part. Like if it's your hand or your leg, don't move it too much. Like if there's nobody around, go for help. But once you find help, let people like carry you, or you make very minimum movements. You're reducing the flow of blood. If there's anything that's tight on your hand, it could be a ring or it could be a watch. Anything that's tight or can get tight when swelling starts, and swelling will start, you should remove it, because you do not want to stop the flow of blood. Stopping the flow of blood is really, really dangerous. And that's what happens when people tie a tourniquet. You tie it very tight, you stop the flow of blood, thinking that's what you should do. You should not stop the flow of blood during a snake bite. You need to reduce the flow of blood if possible. Do not stop the flow of blood. If you stop it, high chances that this blood cells and body tissue is going to die, and many people lose their hands and lose their legs. You have to amputate it, because the body tissue is already dead. That's what necrosis sets in and stuff like that. So do not do anything tight. If anything is tight, remove it. I repeat, remain calm, do not panic. Remove anything that's tight. Try to immobilize the part. Run clean water over the wound. And no need of any antiseptic or anything else. Just clean water, so that if there is any surface venom on the surface, it just gets washed off. And rush to the nearest hospital. Inform somebody, of course. Avoid riding yourself unless there's nobody else around, because while riding you can kind of go unconscious and it could be a major accident that happens. It's good to know now, in this case, instead of storing antivenom, it's good to know which hospitals around you have antivenom. Like for example, in the south of Goa, I can tell you very clearly, the district hospital has anti-snake venom, Apollo Victus has antivenom, SMRC in Vasco, they had antivenom. So antivenom is pretty much...
So you're saying go to some of these major hospitals?
Go to a major hospital. Also why? Is because you might need the support of a ventilator. Going to a local doctor that does not have a ventilator, it makes no sense. You're delaying. Time is very, very precious. You need to rush as soon as possible to a hospital and start taking treatment as soon as possible. Time is very crucial. Very, very crucial.
So Benhail, how does it feel to be on National Geographic?
Well, it's something that I never chased after. I mean, a lot of people I know that, think it's amazing and it's great, and I never really chased after it. When it did come to me, and again...
How did it actually come to you?
I get to that. When it did come to me, I was pretty shocked, and I was uncertain about how to go ahead with it. And I'll tell you the reason why. Because I know that to capture an audience, you need drama, right? You need a lot of drama to capture an audience, and especially masses, to be on TV. And I'm not a very dramatic person. Like, I would love to make a snake rescue as simple as possible. And honestly speaking, simple is boring. So I wasn't sure whether I would have to change my ways or something that I thought about all this while. How is the ethical way to rescue a snake? It's a very distinct ethical and unethical rescue. Unethical is full of drama and entertaining. You have all these people hoisting out cobras in their hands or kissing snakes. That's unethical and that's a drama. At the same time, it is rescuing the snake from being killed. But that's not the best way. The best way is to do it very ethically, which is to keep the snake as least stressed as possible, bag it without any accidents happening, and that could be getting boring. So I was a little confused as to what would be expected out of me from TV. Thankfully that I had this Riverbank Studios. They do a lot of documentary films on conservation. It was led by Doyle and Gautam Pandey, Mike Pandey's kids. And they are really amazing. I was so shocked after interacting with them because they are into conservation for decades, right? So they know more stuff about conservation than I know. And they know that when I'm rescuing a snake, they don't need to give any inputs, and they did not want drama. So they told me, Benhail, I'm sorry, but that during the rescue, when you're going for a rescue or leaving from the rescue, we'll be bugging you with the camera in your face all the time. But during the rescue, which is the main time, it's when I'm in my hot zone, they said, we will stand where you tell us to stand. You tell us you can't cross 2 meter radius or 3 meter radius or a 10 meter radius. We will have our cameras there. You do your thing. We are not going to tell you how fast to do it, how slow to do it, or how to bag the snake, or make it get aggressive and hiss and raise its hood. We are not going to tell you all that stuff. You just do what you're doing, which was a breakthrough for me. I said, well, this is it. And this is amazing because if I get the freedom to do what I do ethically, that's going to set a benchmark for a lot of rescuers all over India who want to do it for various reasons, for drama or for fame. Like if you do it ethically and that can be respected, that's it. That should set a trend.
Changes the
perspective of rescue. Yeah, so that was really happy. And for me, I've been doing these awareness programs in schools, colleges, like 100 people, 200 kids, 500 kids, and talking about snakes like we just spoke. But what happens is some people grasp it, some people don't. But the best and most effective awareness that happens is when I'm rescuing a snake at a person's house with just 2 or 3 people around, and I'm telling them about the snake, telling them the uses of snakes. But that's something that not many people could see. Now, Nat Geo, National Geography, being a channel that also does a lot of conservation films, which is amazing, they have taken the opportunity and they have given me this opportunity, honestly speaking, to show that co-awareness to the masses. So that's what's happening right now. So it's super cool. It's very interesting the way it panned out, and I think masses will change. I'm getting a lot of feedback from people saying that this is amazing. We have changed the perspective to the snakes. People from all over India,
so they write into you, is it?
They write into me. Right now, there's a family that's come from Delhi especially to meet up with me.
Really?
Yeah, and I need to make some time during this day and catch up with them. So it's interesting.
That's a fascinating story because not many people from Goa get a show on Nat Geo. But it's also because of the work you're doing and the passion, and it's because of the commitment. I think you definitely deserve it. So tell me a little bit about Louise, because I know I've seen her as well on the YouTube, and it seems that she's as passionate about you. So was she a lover of the outdoors and animals and reptiles and stuff before she met you, or did you convert her?
So Louise loved animals, but she was not exposed to the wild. So where I met Louise was around 11 years ago. We are married for 10 years now, nearly 10 years, and we met around 11 or 12 years ago, and that was when Grand Hyatt, this hotel, was just opening, and the management called me there to tell the staff how to handle snakes in their property. New property, snakes are always around. How to handle a problem if there is a guest and there's a snake close by, or if a guest is bitten by a snake, to train the security how to restrain a snake or bag a snake before they call for help, because immediate action needs to be done. Like if you call a rescuer from a hotel, by the time the forest department or any other rescuer comes, it will take some time.
Correct.
But you have guests, and the guests do not want their lives at risk. So the security needs to be trained about how to handle the situation with a snake around. So I was giving a talk to the entire management and employees of the hotel, and that's where Louise was. So she was very interested in snakes as well. And a couple of months down the line, she called me up and said, like, if there is any snake that you're rescuing, take me along. And that's how we met. Ever since I introduced her to snakes, well, she loved them as well. I mean, she has the same views as I have about snakes and other living creatures, and does anything to help conserve them. She also does rescue non-venomous snakes. Venomous snakes she can rescue very well, but I'm very protective of her, and I say, okay, stay away from venomous snakes unless it's an emergency. If I really can't get there, then you go for it. Others stay away from it.
So besides snakes, what else? Like, you've done crocodiles, and what are the other animals or reptiles you've worked with?
So the other animals that we have worked, I mean, practically everything that's wild in Goa I've worked with, like whether it's the gaur, the Indian bison it's called gaur, leopards, crocodiles, monkeys, owls, eagles, monitor lizards, squirrels, I mean turtles, I mean just name it. Everything that's wild in Goa I have had the honor and the privilege to interact with it very close.
So you've been like, exactly, it's a privilege to interact with some of Goa's wildlife on that. A lot of us, this is not our natural comfort zone, and this is not our habitat. Like for you, this is probably like
heaven. It's heaven.
It's heaven. This is where you would live, and we would kind of come and visit once in a way, right?
True.
So it's really great. Is there anything you'd like to say to, because a fair few people are going to watch this, Is there anything that you would like to leave them with, like some parting thoughts, wisdom, anything from your life that you want to kind of share with them and say, hey, you know, this is what I want to... Is there anything you'd like to share?
Yeah. We need to share this space. The planet does not belong to us. It does not belong to snakes. It belongs to us as the entire group. We are a part of this ecosystem. We need to live amongst it. We need to share this space. Human beings are the only one that builds boundaries and fences. Like we build a house, we build a compound wall around it. Then we'll fence our property. Then we'll fence our city and stuff like that. And we want to keep everything else outside it. And then we have reached such a point that, okay, now we have occupied most of space. Let's fence a wildlife sanctuary. So now we're fencing wildlife sanctuaries to keep the wild inside. That is not really going to help us go anywhere. That's going to give us pleasure that when we want to break from our stupid rat race, we go to a wildlife sanctuary and enjoy the beauty there. But it is not helping all the other wild animals, insects, the birds, the snakes, the lizards. It's not helping them. They need to spread out. They need to live amongst us, right? We need to live amongst them. We need to share this planet. I know it's a little far-fetched and idealistic because we're all caught in that loop. But that's the only way.
No, but yeah. I think that's a very valid point.
True.
You know. We're in a really beautiful space here this morning, Benhail, but the amount of garbage in this place is unbelievable.
I don't even look down. It's
what do you have to what do you have to say about, like, you know, this mess around us?
It's a lack of concern, lack of empathy again. We do not care. I really can't understand a person going to a beautiful place because it is beautiful and messing it up. And they themselves will come here 5 years from now and they'll see it messed up and they'll go to another beautiful place and mess that up. You carry a beer with you, carry a bottle. I don't see why does somebody need to smash it on a rock. Take it back with you. The thing is that we do not empathize with the creatures around. We do not feel the pain that they will go through seeing this garbage. And we are not conscious about it. We do not care. We are careless. We do not care about other living creatures. We don't actually care about ourselves. We need to realize that, okay, fine, not only the wildlife is getting destroyed, but the moment wildlife is destroyed, buddy, you're going to be in a problem. Your life is going to be at stake. Even if you're selfish as whatever it can be, you need to protect the ecosystem and protect the wildlife. If you protect the ecosystem, it's for your benefit. You can't survive as a human race by destroying and crapping up everything that you come across. People need to get that and sink it into their head. It could be a point where it's already too late. But I still feel there's hope. There are people open to change. People are changing. Like people here in this case, I'm sure this is a very local spot. We always blame the outsiders. We blame the government. We blame everything else besides ourselves.
Yeah.
But it's that little child that comes with a chip packet, enjoys the chip, drops the chip packet, and the parents do not say to pick it up.
Yeah, absolutely.
The parents should start to pick up your garbage, take it home.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's do a quick release. It's a very young snake, a young spectacled cobra, and obviously it would be stressed. So I would like to release it without stressing it any further. So this is a typical snake bag that I have. And this is how we do it because we don't want the snake to come close to my fingers. To move. So it's moving up. You can see it's coming up. If by the chance the snake comes towards you all, do not move. Okay? Do not move fast. Yeah? The snake will go and hide. You can see its head here.
Do not move fast means do not move, or do not move?
Do not do any sudden movement. There it is. Yeah, he's popping out. So now he's scared. See? Get up. Get up.
Get up.
Yeah, okay.